I've got these two beautiful Benchmade Bailout knives, one with a black coating in S90V with bronze anodized hardware, and one in a stone washed finish with M390 blade steel with blue anodized hardware. And here's something, it's not just blue. I thought from the photos I saw online of this thing that it was just blue, but it's actually got some other colors going on there. It looks kind of purple down inside this crossbar stud. I'm not sure what you would call that part. And in the pivot, it looks darker blue. And in the thumb stud, it looks red. And on this side, on the inside the lug on the crossbar, it looks like kind of a dark purple bluish color, a little different than it does on this side. And then on the blue pocket clip on this thing, we've got some other colors showing up, especially on the inside of the bend there. Interesting. And this one is more consistent in the anodization. I don't know if all these extra colors are accidental, or I don't know if that's a feature or a bug. I kind of like it. Yeah, this is more consistently bronze colored. We got S90V with a black coat and M390 with a stone washed finish. And these are pretty similarly priced in that they are both crazy expensive. This black coated version is $400 and the stone washed version is $390. What? So this is kind of a thing right now with Benchmade, right? They've been putting out some pretty expensive stuff. Here's a bug out that cost $400. That's an S90V. Sorry, I got a lot of oil on there. It's got aluminum bolsters, rich light inlays. It's got this cool anodized orange backspacer that you don't usually see on a bug out. It's S90V stone washed. It's a nice knife, but $400, it's a lot of money. And then mini bug out with green aluminum handles and a Cerakoted S90V blade. Again, looks great, but this thing costs like $370. And if you carry it around, I'll tell you what it's going to end up looking like. It's going to end up looking like this, right? This was a green, this is the original Bailout in CPM M4, which was nowhere near as expensive as these newer models. And this is the 3V Bailout with CF Elite handles. And this thing has been on sale, supposedly, for months and months. A lot of retailers are selling this around $160. And they're calling it a sale, but, you know, it's been a pretty stable price for a while. So, I don't know, maybe that's just the price. The CF Elite is a little more rigid than the polymer of the original Benchmade bug outs. And all of these knives have steel insert liners, which are easier to see actually on the new ones because they're anodized. So you can see where the steel liner extends to, it extends to where that screw is. And then the rest of this is just carbon fiber. Pretty light. Alright guys, here's the thing. I get excited about knives. I go a little crazy. Sometimes I buy more than I should. Actually, I always buy more than I should. I probably shouldn't keep both of these bailouts. So, what do you think? Which one should I hang on to? This one with its funky colors and stone-washed M390 blade? Or this one with its black-coated S90V blade? Both of them have the same carbon fiber handles or handle scales, and they're contoured and they're textured a little bit. It's not just smooth, it's slightly lumpy. That's not really going to show up on camera, I don't think, but it's got a little bit of texture to it. Now, I will say I've been very pleased with this recent Benchmade purchase, which is the Mini Bedlam, which has a stone-washed S90V blade, and it has bronze anodized hardware. So the hardware goes nicely with the S90V version of the Bailout. But the blade finish is more like the M390 version. And I will put these on display. I may also carry them and use them, but they might be on a display stand next to each other. These two have a little bit more consistency, I suppose. I'll tell you what though, I'm not a huge fan of coated blades, because the coatings, first of all, it's not necessary to coat S90V for rust resistance, right? S90V is very stain resistant. It's got very good corrosion resistance. So the black here is just for aesthetic purposes. Some of you tactically oriented guys are going to tell me that having a black coated blade is better since there won't be a glint off of it when you're sneaking around like a ninja. But I don't do a lot of sneaking around anymore. I'm getting old. I don't do a lot of ninja stuff. I never really did any ninja stuff. So I don't know that it bothers me to have a stone-washed finish. It's not a mirror polish. It's going to hide scratches. Whereas that black blade, if I actually use the thing, is going to acquire some scratches. And you can see how that's going with this original Bailout, which was also coated, not just for aesthetics, but because CPM M4 is not a stainless steel. So coating it helps to protect it from rust. But as you can see, the coating is wearing off, particularly along this line where the swedge ends. And then at the tip, that coating is kind of starting to wear through. Now some people like that. Some people love, all these signs of use, which, that's a look. That's a look. But I could probably use this one and it would still look pretty good if I just clean it off with some rubbing alcohol and put a drop or two of oil on there and polish it up a little bit once in a while with a soft cloth. And this carbon fiber is not going to wear the way that that aluminum handle does, right? There's not a coating that's going to wear off of this carbon fiber. So I'm kind of leaning this way. I think you can probably tell by what I'm saying that my instinct is to keep this one. Now, M390 versus S90V. Well, if I'm not mistaken, they're going to be in the same ballpark in terms of performance. S90V, I think, can be heat treated to a little bit higher Rockwell hardness and therefore have a little bit better edge retention. But when you heat treat it to its maximum hardness, it becomes more chippy. And Benchmade doesn't heat it to that high Rockwell hardness. They're a little bit conservative in their heat treat on S90V. They don't squeeze the maximum edge retention out of it because they want to preserve some toughness. And I don't have a lot of experience with Benchmade M390 blades. I own a few, but they're knives that I haven't really used a lot. So I can use your advice here. Not just about which one looks cooler, but whether you think I'm going to get better performance out of this S90V1 or this S90V1 or this M391. If I was made of money, I would keep them both. Unfortunately, I am not. All right, well, I'm going to have more to say about these knives. I will share the longer video that includes an unboxing and some discussion of what Benchmade's been up to recently. And that video should show up soon, so subscribe to my channel if you want to see more about these two awesome Benchmade Bailout knives, and more knives in general. That's kind of what we do here. If you subscribe to the channel, I will keep showing you cool knives. That's the bargain. It'd be awesome if you would hit the thumbs up to like this video. Helps more people see it. I'm Pocket Knife Collector, and I appreciate you. Thanks.